Allegedly, it's recording. This is gonna be something a little crazier. Pick up that magnet, and we're gonna do this real quick, I believe. So we're gonna upgrade. We have a desktop here. The desktop is, well, you'll see. Let's take a look. Set that there. Okay, and here is our desktop. Do we have the bird cam? We do have the bird cam working. Okay, so this computer, I don't know if anybody recognizes this, and we'll go to a different view here shortly. I'm waiting on food, but until then, we're gonna take and do a quick upgrade to this thing while I have the moment, and I'm gonna look at something else. I think we are recording. So what computer this is my mini ITX build for streaming here at the shop. I hope this can be heard. All right. And what we have to add to it, I guess I could go over that. Let's flip it back to the Sony. Okay, so this is what we're going to put in. This is a Silverstone FPS01. This, if you can't tell the shape, fits in an optical bay. But not only in an optical bay, it fits not in a laptop, it's for a desktop. For I think a 12.7 millimeter size optical bay, so not one of the super skinny ones, like in some of the newer Dell Optiplexes in HP Slimline. It has room for a SATA type M.2, so not an NVMe drive, but just SATA. We have to connect SATA data, Molex power. It has a daisy chain USB 3, so we can still keep our front USB ports enabled. And then we also get two more USB 3.0 ports, SD card, and micro SD. And that is going to go in that slot where I have a slot load drive that I've never used in my life. Not once. Let's brighten that up a little. We have to unplug a few things to gain access to it. Namely that. That's our hard drive sled. And now we have to pull this out. And that's what holds our optical drive. So first thing, let's see if this is going to fit in there okay. At least size-wise in the front. And it does. It's going to fill the front up nice. Not the exact same color of black, but once we get it locked in, and it's a little close, but slightly different color, but this is tucked down in a cubby hole, so not too worried about it. First off, let's get this mounted in our bracket. So we'll grab this streaming PC and set it down. Hopefully this doesn't crash out. We're doing this all from a laptop right now. So all right, just had to check there for a moment. So we need to find our fuse. I think I only mounted 2 screws. Yeah, slacker. All right, so let's go ahead and pull those out. Yeah, I've never used this slot load reader, not once. That and getting them powered with that goofy internal SATA. I mean, you're going to power it with Molex and then a SATA data wire anyhow. But in my case, there's such, like, I have one M.2 slot on the motherboard on the streaming PC. And if you put an M.2 SATA a SATA type M.2 drive in, it disables one of your SATA ports. However, if you put an M.2 NVMe drive in, you get access to all your SATA ports allegedly. This is going to let us test that because I have out of the 4 SATA ports, I have 3 drives plugged in. One was disabled when I had an M.2 SATA type in there. However, we're going to take and see if we can. Well, I think that's going to have to go in last. Let's and possibly from this side. That's not going to work because it feeds through. Okay. I figured out how it goes in. Just don't pay attention to me. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're not screwed, but we're not putting a whole lot in there beyond. Yeah. So what are we gonna do? Bring the cables out the front side of the case? Can we slide this in from the back? I don't think. No. The front of it is too big. It does disconnect though. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at snapping off our front trim plate. Will that let it go in if we loosen this front trim plate? Okay, and let's check that again. Let's see if we can just slide it through from the back. And we can. Okay, so we need to get this connected up to the computer. And then, only then, I'll put that in and attempt to connect everything. There's our one free SATA port. We should have Molex in this jumble of wires. We do. Is there another free Molex anywhere? There is. It's right there. Going to be right handy. We should be able to reach that. A little dusty, but we're not doing any spring cleaning. Oh boy. We could start Star Wars theming the case with black and white if we wanted to. There's our daisy chain for the motherboard. Let's grab a black locking SATA cable. About a straight through instead of a 90. Either way, this thing's gonna have to make an uncomfortable turn. That seems like a lot of wires to pack in. I'm gonna try and shoot it out right between the USB 3. We have our Molex coming out to motherboard, and this goes to our front I/O. We gotta pull our front I/O up and get this all plugged in. And then we get the fun job of attempting to stream from the laptop again when we throw an M.2 SATA drive in there, which will be way down the road. Have yet to order one, need to. And the one that's being used is actually helping run this show that you're watching now on the laptop, so. Or not on, in the laptop. Alright, we got way more cable than we bargained for with this one. What? what is going on here and how is this going to affect the streaming? Okay. Doesn't matter. Motherboard, 19-pin USB port, USB 3.0 port. Check out this cable. It's just a goofy, just 2-into-1, and it just literally makes a loop. I don't know what to think about that. Okay, well, let's plug it in. My friend. Okay, so we have Molex power, we have the SATA data coming out. Ooh, what a nightmare. Is that Molex? That is Molex, but no, that's SATA. Okay, we'll just throw that down out of the way. We need to get this plugged in without all of this unplugging, and that's very worrisome as far as where I have cables mounted. It may not want to make the turn, or it may be. Yeah. Okay, so everything seems like it's plugged in. So now, just a test of can it be done. And we're going to use our 2 screws and put that in place. It seems like, yeah, it seems like it's not happening. Not with the current configuration of cables. Maybe we can eliminate some of it. It gains us all of our slack. So I rerouted this USB 3 cable from the front. And it was not. Like, it has no problem making the run. But making the run while staying plugged in, I think, is going to be more of the challenge. save that much room. Let me see. We're gonna attempt something crazy, which I don't want to do. Yeah, there's gonna be no way to do it. Not in a reasonable amount of time. So front, route it through. This may be to be continued, where we'll have to route this at another point, just strictly because of this USB 3 not being on it. We may have to reroute it back to the original side that it came in on. I rerouted it that way to hide length, but this case is not pleasant. I don't think the front pops off. I think it's the front unscrews. If that's the case, yeah. The front unscrews on this, not, I don't think it's a snap loose, but we'll check. No, 6 screws to pull the front off of this case, so I don't know, possibly a to be continued. Let's see what we can figure out here in a minute, though. Okay, so right there loosens up our power supply. We almost gain access to the other. Yeah, right. Can you drop it? Nope. Okay. I was thinking back to when I rerouted this cable around here. Oh, there's no way we got that lucky. And I can just pull it right back around. That's unthinkable. All right, let's put these screws that I took out for no reason back in to hold the front on the case. I didn't know it was literally wrapped the power supply. That aspect I did not remember. Okay, so we're gonna go, we have to hit 2 more screws to get our front panel cover to stay on. If we could get them in one go, this is going to be amazing. I don't think, but we're really going to try. There's no way that just happened. Okay, I'm working on it completely where you can't see. That's fine. We were just right here. Right now, I'm going to put my power supply back in place. We're going to screw it back in place and see where I can get the USB 3 out around. If we have to bring it right over top, we will. That's going to give us more than enough length. Let's put the power supply back in place. Okay, where are you at? Screw hole, screw hole. Actually, let me look here. I'm looking right here. Where does that come out? It's gonna be right. It'll press into the foam there. That's kind of the same thing I did on this side, but I had to cut through metal to get it in. Put these in and see if we can route this. Classically, my luck says no, not in a million years. I gotta pull this out to put the 2 bottom screws in for the power supply. Yes, luck of most things says no, not happening that way. Did I? Okay, I didn't miss one. Goes to the other side. Power supply's in, our 4th screw for the front panel. In, USB 3 is going to make the turn. Alright, it is now time to connect. Where did it go? I still say it's going to be a nightmare getting it in here, and probably some, it could probably massively be benefited by some 3M tape holding it in place. I'm going to say that would be a massive benefit to take and put a piece of double-sided 3M tape there to stick it to the underside of this and then connect it. Always super forgetful on which way this thing actually goes in here. It is, what is the holdup now? SATA? Yes, SATA connector. That's comforting that it has to press that down. Alright, there's one screw. Let's go for it. Yeah, I don't at all feel confident that that's going to keep that in there. Like I said, got one there. Where'd the other one fall? All right, we have a taker on the one side. Let's look for our second winner. That may be long enough. Just grabs. It's all good if not. Blasted. What size are you? Philly screw. That one's not metallic. Or yeah, magnetic. Found a guy, but he stuck to something big. Should be our taker for this side. What size are these? Alright, that's our size. We're going to try and make sure these are plugged in. I don't know how reliable that's going to be. Here goes nothing. And sadly, where we're ending the whole ordeal. Alright, that. Stay plugged in. Plate me on it. Alright, faceplate will go on. This will go to that SATA port. And we have quite a bit of cable management tucking to do. We have to find Molex, which I did say was right here. And it's almost guaranteed that it's not going to plug in on the first go. It's Molex, come on. We got it. Just for cable management, I don't use the SSD mounts in this case. We're going to route this USB 3 up here to let it go down and plug in down there without having a bunch of cable. And we need the slot forward. This is so hard to see with everything in the way. That feels like it. That is it. Okay. Cables managed the best they're going to get for now. Everything should be plugged in. Feels as such. We have the SATA data, SATA power. Let's plug in our case and put our hard drives in. And I still have a loose screw somewhere. Do I know it? I do. Okay, one goes there. Alright, and let's get that out of the way to get our hard drive sled back in. Alright. And those are getting tucked back under. And if there's a wire tie here, we're going to tie it up and call that pretty good. For all intents and purposes, this is going to be revisited. We're going to actually do the test of it in another stream. Alright, job done. Let's put the cover on and call it good. The only thing I should be the faceplate and then the 3 screws for my back pan or my everything is matching up, and we'll do a boot test on this possibly, quite possibly tomorrow. Later. I don't want to say later and it not happen, so I'll say tomorrow. Anyhow, yeah, looking good. I can't believe that went in. We'll have to revisit it again also when the M.2 SATA or SATA type M.2, so M.2 NGFF or whatever it is, when that drive comes in. And lastly, let's take a look at it. And there it is. Some more functionality for my case. If just the USB 3 ports and the SD reader work, that's amazing. Alright, and there you have it. The Silverstone, what do I want to call it? FPS01 installed in the case. Anyhow, if this is your thing and you get into it, yeah, thanks for doing it, enjoying it, field and whatnot. If you know how to do it, give somebody a hand that needs it done. Save their stuff from the landfill. Have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I will see you next time. We're ending this. It's time to go. Jump. Thanks for clicking the link if you did. Where's the cover? Where's the cover?